Hi everyone, I'm Deirdra and I've got another great story from the Old Testament today. Sometimes we as modern day women can get caught up in titles, education, careers, public recognition, and all the things that make us feel important to society. In social circles, one woman might say that her name is Sally and she works as a lead ER doctor. Another might say that her name is Samantha and she works as an executive for a big business. Then another will slink back in her chair and say her name and that she is just a housewife, as if it is something to be ashamed of or that she failed to reach some imagined social expectation. So let me tell you a story today about a woman who was just a housewife, who ended up defeating the most feared military tyrant in the world. Her story is connected with another woman named Deborah, who reigned as a judge of Israel during the time of the reign of judges. Each one of the tribes of Israel had a judge, and she sat in the judgment seat for the tribe of Ephraim. She was considered a judge, leader, and prophetess. Okay, so Deborah had probably just broke every single stereotype of what you thought Old Testament women were like. During this time, the king of Canaan was causing a lot of issues for the children of Israel, and Deborah called for Barak, the leader of the army of Israel. She said to him, "Why haven't you led our armies into battle to defeat the Canaanites and free Israel?" Barak had some good excuses. The Canaanite army was led by Sisera, the most feared military leader and warrior in the world. Israel was hopelessly outnumbered by Sisera, and their equipment and weapons, including the chariots, were far more superior. And then Deborah says to him, don't you remember the prophecies that say that we will be victorious? Barak is still a little nervous, but he says to her that if she will come with him and stand by his side in battle, then he will go. Deborah agrees and then prophesies to Barak that Sisera will be killed by a woman and that this woman is not going to be her. I'm sure at this point Barak is wondering how this is possible since there are no women in his army. But he had 10,000 men, and now that he had Deborah, how could he lose? With Deborah, Barak leads his army into battle and every single Canaanite is slaughtered except for one, and that is Sisera himself. Sisera then takes off running for his life through the desert. He's stumbling through the desert for who knows how long, and then he sees a tent. Now, tents back then were nothing like the kind of tents we go camping in today. This tent was a full-on home, and the woman who lived there was Jael, a housewife. Sisera comes into her tent and demands refuge. This could have been especially terrifying for a woman who was home alone, just tending to her daily tasks. Anything could have happened to her. Jael knows who Sisera is and how absolutely dangerous he is. She keeps her cool and plays the part that Sisera expects her to play. "Oh dear, please come into my home out of the sun. You want a drink of water? Well, I will give you a drink of milk. You must be so tired. Lay down right over here. Let me cover you up with a blankie." Yeah, she's totally playing him. Because after Sisera falls asleep, Jael goes outside her tent, pulls out a giant tent stake, gets her hammer, puts the stake up to the temple of his head, and then nails his head to the ground. Soon after, Jael sees Barak in hot pursuit looking for Sisera. Jael meets Barak and says, "If you're looking for Sisera, don't worry, he's not going anywhere." Later, Deborah, the prophetess, sang a song in honor of the victory, in which she says, "Blessed above women shall Jael be. Blessed shall she be above the women in the tents." So, if you find yourself in one of these social settings where women are introducing themselves and one says that she is just a housewife, don't underestimate her.